When you hear a show tune from the great white way, does a shiver run through ya? Well, we're giving them to ya. Sing hallelujah and shout hooray. Come on along and listen to Broadway to Main Street. USA.
My paintings are Pollocks and Picassos. They hang so terribly straight. My silver is hallmarked, my glass is Bacharach. I have service for 48. My chiropodist visits me weekly. I hate bending over, you see. The clothes that fit me so sleekly are a passionate pleasure to me. When I dine at home, the food is perfect. In my cellars are dated wines in bins. I'm a horse, I like to race at Longchamp. I don't mind if he very seldom wins. In truth, I really represent the nearly complete gentleman. The man who has everything is wealthy. He goes where he wants to and when. The man who has everything is healthy too, so he can run around from midnight till 10. The girl whom I've chosen for my quarry is dressed by Chanel or by Dior. Behind the wheel of my Ferrari, I can ask for anything more. The man who has everything has nothing, till love all his own he can see. I doubt it will be true, it ever will be you, but meanwhile I have everything. Lucky me.
Well, the man who had everything as a singer, pianist, and cabaret artist par excellence was, of course, Bobby Short. Hello, this is Larry Maslon, your host for Broadway to Main Street here at 88.3 FM WLIW, Long Island's only signature, one-of-a-kind, at the Carlisle kind of NPR station. And we're coming to you today, emanating out of Southampton, northwards and westwards. Well, Bobby Short was one of the great phenomena of the 20th century when it came to the Great American Songbook. We have played his renditions, I don't know, one out of every 6-7 shows here for over 10 years, and I thought it would be a good time to devote an entire hour, although we could devote many, 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 many more hours to his considerable artistry. It's his birthday month, and he would have been 98 years old. Well, Bobby Short was born in Danville, Illinois in 1924, same year my parents were born. Interestingly enough, one of his classmates growing up was Dick Van Dyke. And he had, as a young black man, he said, I had a perfectly normal, integrated, wonderful childhood in Danville, Illinois. And at a young age, his talents developed such that as a kid, he went on the road and toured everywhere and played the Apollo in white tie and tails tailored to his tiny 11-year-old body. So let us, and he went to, performed in Los Angeles and in Paris and in the south of France. Let us give a doff of the hat to his peripatetic life. Here is from the first album, I believe he released in 1956, the first cut on that album. Harold Arlen and Johnny Mercer, Any Place I Hang My Hat is Home.
and easy, that's my style. How to do me, watch me smile. They will me after a while. 'Cause I gotta roam, and any place I hang my hat is home. Sweetening water, cherry wine, thank you kindly, suits me fine. Kansas City, Caroline, that's my honeycomb, and any place I hang my hat is home. Birds flying in the trees, pick up and go, and the going proves. That's how it's gonna be. I pick up too when the spirit moves me. Cross the river, round the bend. Howdy, stranger, so long, friend. There's a voice in the lonesome wind that keeps a whispering. Roam. I'm going where a welcome mat is, no matter where that is. Any place I hang my hat is home. Birds flying in the trees, pick up and go, and the going proves. That's how it's gonna be. I pick up too when the spirit moves me. Cross the river, on the bend. Howdy, stranger, so long, friend. There's a voice in the lonesome wind that keeps a whispering. Roam. I'm going where a welcome mat is, no matter where that is. 'Cause any place I hang my hat is home. I love the look of you, the lure of you, the sweet of you, the pure of you, the eyes, the nose, the mouth of you, the east, west, north, and the south of you. I'd like to laze with you and doze with you and learn the secret of sweet repose with you. So give a gent a small percent of you do, 'cause I love all of you. I love the look of you, the lure of you. I'd like to make a tour of you, the face, the grace, the charm of you. 2, 3, 4, farther along of you. You never know how much I'd give for you. I'd die for you, but I'd rather live for you. So love at least a small percent of me, dear. 'Cause I love all of you.
Well, that was from Silk Stockings, written by Cole Porter. And Bobby Short recorded so much of Cole Porter, but in this hour today, you will not hear, aside from that song, much, if any, Cole or Noel or Dick or Larry or Andy Razaf or Fats Waller for that matter, on the suggestion of our good friend Will Friedwald. This will be an hour of Bobby Short devoted to songs that were contemporaneous with his recordings, which might be a little perverse because he was so well known for these rare Noel Coward songs or Fats Waller songs or Cole Porter songs. He released many, many albums of their material. But I thought this was an interesting way of focusing on his career. Well, in the 50s, early 1950s, when Silk Stockings was running on Broadway, Bobby Short had a brief appearance in a Cole Porter show, a revival of Kiss Me Kate, starring Kitty Carlisle Hart, at City Center, where he played the valet Fred and got to sing Too Darn Hot, a song, oddly enough, he never recorded. Interesting. Well, let us go into the early 1960s, at which point Bobby Short had established himself in New York City as a great cabaret artist. And here is a composer that he took a shine to. They make a lot of sense as a muse because Cy Coleman was a jazz pianist as well. So here are two songs from the score to Little Me in 1962. Lyrics by Carolyn Lee, Indelible Performance by Bobby Short.
Pardon me, miss, but I've never done this with a real live girl. Straight off the farm with an actual arm full of real live girl. Pardon me if your affectionate squeeze fogs up my goggles and buckles my knees. I'm simply drowned in the sight and the sound and the scent and the feel of a real live girl. I've seen photographs and facsimiles that have set my heart up in a whirl. But no work of art gets you right in the heart like a real live girl. Nothing can beat being swept off your feet by a real live girl. Girls were like fellas was once my belief. What a reversal and what a relief. I'll take the flowering hat and the towering heel and the squeal of a real live girl. Yeah! Real live girl. Real live count-up. I've never done this with a real live girl. Straight off the farm with an actual arm full of real live girl. Pardon me if your affectionate squeeze fogs up my goggles and buckles my knees. I'm simply drowned in the sight and the sound and the scent and the feel of a real live side of the tracks, that is where I'm going to be. On the other side of that great divide between fame and fortune and me. I'm going to put my shadows behind me, give my inhibitions the axe, and tomorrow morning you'll find me on the other side of the tracks. On the other side of that line, where the life is fancy and free, Gonna sit and fan on my fat divan while the butler bottles the tea. But for now I'm facing the fences and I can't afford to relax when the whole caboodle commences on the other side of the tracks. So I'm off and running over the rail. I've gone gunning after the quail. Off and running, send me the mail. The great big world, the other side. The great big world on the farther side. The great big world, the other side of the tracks. Amigo, aquí la vida rica. On the other side of the tracks. Yo say, amigo, on the other side of the tracks.
This is Larry Maslon. We're looking at the incomparable Bobby Short today. Today's show is actually called Bobby Short is Bonkers for Broadway. That's a little doff of the hat because he had albums like Bobby Short is Crazy for the Gershwins. But we're going to stick with the contemporaneous catalog. Here are two songs from shows by, that fronted great dames of the theater that did not do well. How about that for a subcategory? I'm going to thank Eric Comstock for this first choice from Happy Hunting, a not so great vehicle for Ethel Merman, but a Car Doobie song called This Is What I Call Love.
I always knew it would arrive, this feeling of being the only two people alive. You and me, now you're talking. This is what I call love. I almost feel that I could fly. I never knew there were so many stars in the sky. And that moon, that's more like it. This is what I call love. When it's right, you know it's right. And everything else is amateur night. And when we kiss, then even more, I knew I was just going through the motions before. Now at last, for the first time, darling, this is what I call love. I almost feel that I could fly. I never knew there were so many stars in the sky. And that moon, that's more like it. This is what I call love. When it's right, you know it's right. And everything else is amateur night. And when we kiss, then even more, I knew I was just going through the motions before. For the first and the last time, darling, this is what I call love. Now not just a reasonable facsimile thereof. No, sir, this is what I call love. Whenever I see wagon wheels or carriage wheels or any kind of wheels, I think they must be going somewhere, else they wouldn't be there. It doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, as long as you are spiritually kicking up your heels. Before I take my trip to pastures green, I mean to spend some time enjoying the sea. The days are few, I dare not waste them. I long to see and hear and touch and taste them. I want to sing, I want to dance, and have a fling in Paris, France, before I kiss the world goodbye, before I go to meet my maker. I want to use the salt left in the shaker. Don't want the pie that's in the sky. I want the pie before I die, before I kiss the world goodbye, before I kiss the world goodbye. I want my share of fun and laughter. I want it here and not in some hereafter. I want to sing, I want to dance, and have a fling in Paris, France, before I kiss the world goodbye, before I go to meet my maker. I want to use the salt left in the shaker. Don't want the pie that's in the sky. I want the pie before I die, before I kiss the world goodbye, before I kiss the world goodbye.
Well, that is just a masterful performance by Bobby Short of a song by Schwartz and Dietz from a musical called Jenny, starring Mary Martin, which just flopped. I think his rendition is absolutely transcendent, as is most of the things that Bobby Short did. I had the pleasure of seeing him several times, not many times, but several times. I went once with my good friend Matt Sussman to the Village Vanguard, where he performed, which seemed very much off the beaten track for him. And his first set was so marvelous that we ran out to the ATM and got money to see the second set, and he performed the exact same show. But there we go. He was certainly enjoyable and always incredibly charming to watch. So let us go to two other late 1960s shows. Here's a show called Her First Roman, a musical about Caesar and Cleopatra, written by Irvin Drake. One of the few, if any, covers I know from that particular show, courtesy of the one, the only, Bobby Short.
Candle, climb upward, tallow return, lane thin burnt wick, do me this trick, unburn, unburn, unburn. Make me a child again, just for today, foolish and wild again, just for today. Make me unwise again, teach me surprise again, seen through young eyes again, just for today. Wisdom, desert me, folly, return, brain of my youth, wrinkled by truth, unlearn, unlearn, unlearn. Children who cared for me, come out and play. Don't hide in memory, just for today. Kitten, be found again, I'll chase you round again, free and unfrowned again, just for today. All that is beautiful, bring back once more. Leave all that's dutiful outside my door. Tell me the prayer to pray, tell me the price to pay for one sweet yesterday, just for today. Candle, burn upward, tallow return, lengthen burnt wick, do me this trick, unburn, unburn, unburn. Sometimes your eyes look blue to me, although I know they're really green. I seem to see you differently, changing as I'm treated kindly or treated meanly, from moment to moment. You're two different people, faithful and warm when you're in my arms, but then when you leave, you're so untrue. But however you are, deep down, whatever you are, whoever you are, Sometimes I feel you're mine alone, but then I'm sure it's just not so. I get this feeling on my own after I've learned if you're staying or if you're going from moment to moment. You're two different people. Someone I know as the one I love or the one I wish I never knew. But however you are, deep down, whatever you are, whoever you are, I love you. Sometimes your eyes look blue to me.
A wonderful Bacharach and David song from Promises, Promises, rendered by Bobby Short. Perhaps his only Bacharach and David song. I don't know. I'd have to scour a little more closely. Well, in the 60s, he recorded a Cy Coleman album, and I gather it was put by Atlantic Records on the shelf for a little bit and re-released as My Personal Property in 1975, which is great because he could include a song written for Sweet Charity, cut from the show, used in the movie, lyrics by Dorothy Fields, music by Cy Coleman, the one, the only Bobby Short, proving absolutely, truthfully, that New York City, certainly Upper East Side, was his personal property.
Today I feel New York is really my personal property. Right down Broadway to City Hall. Every supermarket, every 5 and 10, the Lincoln Center and the great UN, it's all my personal property. Zoo in Central Park is merely my private menagerie. I've carved my name on every tree. From the Yonkers Raceway down to Bowling Green, I own everything around it, all the in-between. It's all my personal property. The planetarium is mine alone. The old aquarium I also own. And since today I feel New York is really my personal property, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. Since I like you very much, so very, very much, I'm gonna split it with you. Today I feel New York is really my personal property. Right down Broadway to City Hall. Every supermarket, every 5 and 10, the Lincoln Center and the great UN, it's all my personal property. I've carved my name on every tree. From the Yonkers Raceway down to Bowling Green, I own everything around it, all the in-between. It's all my personal property. The planetarium is mine alone. The old aquarium I also own. And since today I feel New York is really my personal property, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. Since I like you very much, so very, very much, I'm gonna split it with you. Since I like you very much, so very, very much, I'm gonna split it with you.
Here's our tribute to Bobby Short. Bobby Short is Bon-K-ers for Broadway. He turned to Sondheim, as inevitably he would in the 1970s. Here are two phenomenal renditions. Obviously the kind of song that set the intimate but electrified crowd at the Café Carlisle afire in the 1970s.
You're always sorry, you're always grateful, you're always wondering what might have been. Then she walks in, and still you're sorry, and still you're grateful, and still you wonder, and still you doubt. Then she walks out. Everything's different, nothing's changed, only slightly rearranged. You're sorry, grateful, regretful, happy. Why wait for answers when none occur? You always are what you always were, which has nothing to do with, all to do with her. You're always sorry, you're always grateful, you hold her thinking, I'm not alone. You're still alone. You don't live for her, you do live with her. You're scared she's starting to slip away, and scared she'll stay. Good things get better, bad gets worse. Wait, I think I meant that in reverse. You're sorry, grateful, regretful, happy. Why wait for answers when none occur? You'll always be what you always were, which has nothing to do with, all to do with her. Why wait for answers when none occur? You'll always be what you always were, which has nothing to do with all to do with Isn't it rich? Are we a pair? Me here at last on the ground, you in midair. Send in the clouds. Isn't it bliss? Don't you approve? One who keeps tearing around, one who can't move. Where are the clowns? Send in the clowns. Just when I stopped opening doors, finally knowing the one that I wanted was yours, making my entrance again with my usual flair, sure of my lines, no one is there. Don't you love farce? My fault, I fear. I thought that you would want what I want. Sorry, my dear. But where are the clowns? Quick, send in the clowns. Don't bother, they're here. Just when I stopped opening doors, finally knowing the one that I wanted was yours, making my entrance again with my usual flair, sure of my lines, no one is there. Don't you love farce? My fault, I fear. I thought that you would want what I want. Sorry, my dear. But where are the clowns? Quick, send in the clowns. Don't bother, they're here. Isn't it rich? Isn't it queer? Losing my timing this late in my career. And where are the clowns? There ought to be clowns. Well, maybe next year.
That was, of course, Send in the Clowns. Some books say that he was the first person to record it. He wasn't. That was Frank Sinatra. He played it, perhaps, but Sinatra was the first one to wax it, as they used to say back in the day. And my wife, my current wife, the woman who's my wife now, Genevieve, Elam and I went and saw him on one of our first dates, in the evening. And it was the evening of the day Sinatra died. And as he was wont to do, in the Café Carlisle. He would circulate after one of his sets and say hello to people. And I drew a little cartoon of him on the tablecloth. And he sat down and I said, Mr. Short, you were wonderful, but I have to ask you, you didn't play a single thing that Sinatra was associated with, nor did you mention him, and he died today. I mean, why? And he said, well, he didn't like me very much, and I didn't like him. And there's your answer, folks. Well, let us go to some late Bobby Short. Here is one of the last Sondheim songs I believe he ever played, from Merrily We Roll Along.
It started out like a song. It started quiet and slow, with no surprise. And then one morning I woke to realize we had a good thing going. It's not that nothing went wrong. Some minor quarrels, of course, but just a few. And only minor they were, because we knew we had this good thing going. And if I wanted too much, was it such a mistake at the time? You never wanted enough, all right, tough. I don't make that a crime. And while we're going along, take for granted some love will wear away. We took for granted a lot, yet here I say we should have kept on growing instead of just kept on. We had a good thing going. At the time, you don't want enough. All right, tough. I don't make that a crime. And while we're going along, we take for granted some love will wear away. We took for granted a lot, yet here I say we should have kept on growing instead of just kept on. We had a good thing going. And while we're going along, we take for granted some love will wear away. We took for granted a lot, yet here I say we should have kept on growing instead of just kept on. We had a good thing going.
Well, any time with Bobby Short is a good thing. And we had a good thing going for 50 odd minutes, but now it's going, gone. We could do so much more on Bobby Short. We thank him for his legendary legacy. It's affected and moved so many of us out there. Here is a duet he did with Mabel Mercer from the Town Hall recording, another Cy Coleman, Carolyn Lee song. Here's to Bobby Short, and thanks for his joy, which makes us jump. Here's to all of us as well.
What shall we raise a toast to? The cares we once were host to.
The banks we owe the most to have vanished, and 3 cheers.
There's nobody left to toast to except the ones we're close to. It may not be Emily Post to say it,
But here's how, and we must say it.
Here's to us, my darling, my dear. Here's to us tonight.
Not for what might happen next year, for it might not be nearly so bright.
And here's to us for all that we have, and for thanks to our merciful star.
Skies of blue and muddling through, just for me and for you, as we are.
Here's to us for nothing at all. If there's nothing at all we can praise,
Just that we're together and here for the rest of our beautiful days. Here's to us forever and always.
Well, where is the time all gone to? This is Larry Maslon here at Broadway to Main Street. Let's catch up next Sunday at 3.
There's so much more embracing still to be done, but time is racing. Oh, well, we'll catch up some other time.